Hello and welcome to my patch notes rundown for the 26th of April. This week's patch notes introduces some very much needed changes to the Rex Matriarchs, which we'll be thoroughly looking into, as well as some general quality of life and accessibility changes. When the text is highlighted yellow, it indicates that I'm reading the patch, and when it's highlighted green, it indicates I'm explaining the impact of the patch. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The affinity for the correct style has been increased from 60 to 64, and the affinity for the correct weapon type has been increased from 75 to 82. For example, Rathis, the green range matriarch, is weak to melee but specifically weak to stab. The setups used in this example are by the upgrade order from the PVME Discord. As you can see, it's very clear that they're trying to force a diversity in weapon use, which I'm personally very much against. It may be traditional in RuneScape to have different weapon type uses from the same tier, but I think it's very outdated in EOC. There's no real knowledge, skill, or fun in having to decide one weapon over the other just because it's strictly more DPS. I prefer diversity in the form of abilities. The most recent and perfect example for this is Divert versus Resonance. Most people still use Resonance just because it suits their playstyle, and that's completely fine, but it's a fact that Divert can be very powerful if used correctly. Attack projectiles have been better synchronized to when they hit the player. This is definitely a lot better than it used to be. A pretty big problem in RuneScape PVM is the inconsistency of attack animations hitting you versus the damage registering on you. As with most PVMers or people who play games, we rely on animations to decide our inputs or reactions. And one of my biggest struggles is the first hour of doing a boss I haven't done in ages, and getting used to the prey flick timing relative to the animations. As you can see, Virago is probably one of the most delayed hits relative to the animation, where the damage registers 0.6 seconds after the bomb animation hits you. Removing the frostbite debuff using the pyroclastic shock will now instantly restore your global cooldown from 3.6 seconds to 1.8 seconds. Slayer XP has been increased from 208 to 4,545 XP. Combat XP has been reduced from 32,500 to 15,000 XP, not including Constitution. All rare drops from Rex Matriarchs will now trigger a World and Friend broadcast. Correctly change the weapon poison potion tooltips chance to apply poison from 15% to 12.5%. Area loot keybinds will no longer activate while typing in the chat box. The wealth evaluator is now free for all players. And that's it for this week's patch notes. The Rex Matriarch changes are definitely good and have made the boss encounter much more enjoyable, but I still don't think it's a good direction in making accuracy and having the correct weapon type a mechanic at bosses. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you for watching and take care.